Agora sim, agora let's go. Let me just organize some things here. Eu vou organizar aqui para eu conseguir acompanhar a tela com vocês. Então, quem tava aqui pelo Insta, tava ouvindo, mas não tava conseguindo ver, né, lá no YouTube, porque não tava rolando, agora tá rolando. Então, se vocês forem lá no canal, que tá na bio, vocês vão conseguir acompanhar a live junto com os slides, tá bom? E aí sim vai dar para entender melhor o que tá rolando, combinado? Então, por favor, passem lá pro YouTube para poder acompanhar. E aqui, se você ganhasse, qual é o tema da nossa aula de hoje? Se você ganhasse na loteria, situações hipotéticas em inglês. Como é que eu trabalho essas situações hipotéticas em inglês? Usando Second Conditional Structure. The second conditional is not a complex structure, não é complexo, but you need to know some things about that. Vocês vão precisar saber de algumas coisas, ok? So here, I have a quote on my second slide that says, money often costs too much. This is a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. He was a American writer. And what does he mean with money costs too much? Because money costs time, costs health, costs a lot of things in our lives, right? Money often costs too much. Do you agree? Vocês concordam? But let's go to our structure, the second conditional. Why do I have to use the second conditional? I use that to talk about unreal or impossible situations or unlikely situations, situações irreais, impossíveis ou que são pouco prováveis de acontecer, in present or in future, ok? And they have the same structure. Eu vou usar aqui a mesma estrutura para falar de present and future. One thing that you have to know, second conditional are huge, are long sentences. São frases mais longas. Because I have two clauses in it. Duas orações. I have an if clause, que vai estar sempre acompanhada do if, and a man clause, que vai ser a minha consequência, ok? The first example, if we spent more of our money on experiences, we would gain something that can last a lifetime. Lifetime poderia durar a vida toda, okay? And I have here the two clauses. The first one, if we spend more of our money on experiences, is my if clause. The second, after comma, depois da vírgula, we would gain something that can last a lifetime. You have to pay attention here on the structure to be clear, because the conditionals, first conditional, second conditional, zero conditional, third conditional, are really similar. So if you don't know the structure, you could give the wrong message. You could pass the wrong message when you are talking. So pay attention. My if clause is always with a past simple verb. If we spent. Could be that a negative sentence? Yes, it could be negative. Like, if we didn't spend, okay? So to study second conditional, you need to study a little bit of past simple, okay? And after comma, I have my consequence, my possible consequence, okay? Or maybe impossible if it's a really unreal situation. We would gain something that can last a lifetime. So after comma, my clause has would, a modal verb, and the infinitive verb, in this case, gain. Let's see another example, a second example. Here I have a negative sentence. We wouldn't find out these things if we didn't spend money on experiences. I have here a negative example. So I have wouldn't, the negative form of would, and I have didn't spend, the negative form of past simple, okay? And there is something different here too. Look, where is my if? It's in the middle, right? If I change the positions of if clause and the man clause, I don't change the meaning. Eu mantenho o significado, ele não muda, ok? I can choose, eu posso escolher. But there is a difference. When I put if in the middle, I don't use a comma in the middle of the sentences, okay? I don't need that. Eu não preciso da vírgula in that case. But the structure is the same. It's would plus an infinitive verb. If plus a past simple verb, right? And I have a question here. A million question for you. What would you do if you won $1 million? O que você faria se ganhasse $1 milhão? I can use that structure of second conditional to ask questions. So, what would you do? My question is here. I change position, eu mudei a posição do would, the modal verb, right? The second part, the if clause is the same. If plus subject plus verb in past simple, okay? And how can I answer that? I know you thought about a lot of possibilities. My first possibility, if I won $1 million, so if clause, verb in past simple, I could travel around the world. But teacher, here I don't have would. Yes, you don't. Aqui a gente não tem would. I have could. It's a possibility. Eu posso trocar o would pelo could, but I change in translation, right? I could travel around the world. Eu poderia viajar. If I say I would, eu viajaria ao redor do mundo, alright? Other possibility, if I won $1 million, I might move to another country. Might talks about future, right? Might é um auxiliar de futuro. And I can use that in second conditional too, because I use the same structure to talk about present or to talk about future. Doesn't change, okay? Isso não muda nada. I might move to another country, so I can change would for other auxiliaries, for other modal verbs, could and might. What would you do if you were younger? That's a good question, right? Sometimes we have some regrets, alguns arrependimentos, and we think, what would you do if you were younger? And if I were younger, I would enjoy more. That would be my answer. Do you know past simple of verb to be? Have you ever studied that? Já estudou o past simple do verb to be? If you studied, probably you remember. I was, you were, he, she, it was, you were, we were, they were, right? But here I have I were instead of I was. Why? Por que eu não estou usando I was? Because when I use a second conditional sentence, I don't say I was. I don't say she was. I don't say he was and it was. I will always say I were, she were, he were, it were. In if clause, okay? There is no if I was younger. That's wrong. I believe you know that song by Beyoncé. If I were a boy, that's not a mistake. It's correct. If I were a boy, it's an unreal situation. It's an imaginary situation. Se eu fosse um garoto, okay? So when it talks about unreal situation, the verb to be in past is not was. It's always were. Do you have questions? Do you have any doubts? You can comment here or you can send me questions on Instagram, okay? Thanks very much. I hope I helped you a lot with that. Eu espero ter te ajudado estudando isso. For my students, para aqueles que se inscreveram para receber o material, já vou mandar o material lá no grupo do WhatsApp. O link tá aqui embaixo. See you. Bye bye.